Today we're going to talk about really taking control of your business finances. The kind of control where your money, well, pretty much moves itself. We're digging into some ideas from an article called Allocating Revenue, Automating the Profit First Percentages.
Yeah, and our mission here is pretty straightforward. We want to understand how automating these financial flows can take the emotion out of managing money and how it helps make sure your business is actually profitable, not just busy. We'll be looking at the profit first method specifically and how a tool like RelayFi, which the article mentions, can help with that.
Okay, so let's dive in. The big idea, the one that kind of jumps out right away, is this concept of flipping the usual accounting formula, completely turning it on its head.
Right. You know the standard one, revenue minus expenses equals profits, what we're all taught. But the problem, and the article points this out clearly, is that for a lot of businesses, especially smaller ones, well, after you pay all the expenses, that profit line is often just
Empty.
zero. Exactly. Revenue minus expenses equals nothing. Or worse, a loss.
Even though you might feel like you're doing okay because money's coming in. But the bank account just feels tight all the time.
Precisely. So profit first flips it. It says, revenue minus profit equals expenses. The key difference, the absolute core of it, is you decide your profit percentage and your owner's pay percentage first. You proactively set that money aside.
Okay.
And then you figure out how to run the business on whatever's left over.
So it forces that discipline. You have to operate within those limits, the ones left after profit and your pay are taken care of.
That's it. And this is where automation, according to the article, becomes really powerful. It's less about convenience, more about necessity. Because trying to do this manually, it's tough. It gets emotional.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, maybe you feel good today, lots of cash came in, so you think, I'll skip the tax transfer this week. Or you're stressed about a big upcoming bill, so you dip into the profit account.
Right, the immediate need takes over.
Exactly. When it's manual, the money follows your immediate feelings, fear, excitement, whatever, not the long-term plan for the business's health.
Okay, so this is where it gets really practical. How does a system, like the one they describe using RelayFi, actually make this automatic? How does it take the human element, the emotional part, out of the equation?
Well, the article explains how tools designed for this let you set up specific rules. You create different accounts or maybe sub-accounts. You might have one labeled profit, one for owner's pay, one for taxes, operating expenses, maybe repairs and reserves.
Got it. Buckets for everything.
Buckets, exactly. Then you tell the system the percentages you decided on for each bucket. And the rule is every time money hits your main income account, the system automatically splits it up according to those percentages.
So literally giving every dollar that comes in a specific job before you even have a chance to spend it somewhere else.
That's the fundamental mechanic. The goal, as the article lays it out, is that once you've set this up the rules, the schedule, it just runs. It happens in the background. Money flows automatically to the right places. You don't have to think about it every day or manually move funds around.
Okay, let's walk through the actual steps the article suggests for putting this automation into practice. What's the very first thing you need to figure out?
First step is deciding on your allocation schedule. How often do you want these automatic transfers to happen? The article suggests weekly is often a good rhythm. Gives you consistent cash flow insight, especially if you get paid regularly through the week.
Makes sense.
Bi-weekly is another option if weekly feels a bit much. And monthly could work, maybe for businesses with fewer but larger income deposits.
And didn't it have a little tip in there about when during the week?
Yeah, a smart one. Try to align it with when your main income tends to land. So, for instance, if you run, say, an Airbnb and the payouts usually hit your account midweek, maybe setting the auto transfer for Friday morning is ideal. The system can then sweep up everything that arrived over the last few days and distribute it. Creates a nice, predictable flow.
Okay, timing sorted. What's next?
Yeah.
The critical bit, I imagine.
The percentages. Setting those allocation percentages. This is where you define how that income gets split. The article gives a straightforward example. For every $1,000 in revenue, maybe 5%, $50 goes to profit.
Okay.
0.30%, $300 to owner's pay, 20%, $200 to taxes, 40%, $400 to operating expenses, and maybe 5%, $50 for a repairs or reserves fund.
And the beauty of automating it is you're not fiddling with a calculator every time, say, 273 tours comes in trying to work out 5% of that.
Exactly. You just set the percentage rule once. The system does the math on whatever amount actually arrives and moves the correct dollar value into each designated account. Then step 3 is the actual setup inside your chosen tool, like RelayFi. You connect your bank accounts, find the auto transfer or allocation feature, you link it to your main income account, select those destination sub-accounts you created, plug in the percentages you just decided on, choose your transfer day and frequency, and you hit save.
And boom. From then on, just happens. But businesses aren't static, right?
Yeah.
Revenue goes up and down, expenses change. How does the article address keeping those percentages relevant?
That's step 4, and it's crucial. The review and adjustment process. Those percentages aren't meant to be set in stone forever. Your business changes, evolves. So the recommendation is a quarterly review. Every 90 days or so, take a look.
Look at the actual numbers.
Yeah, look at your actual income and spending across all those different accounts for the last quarter. See if you're consistently running short in your operating expenses account. Or maybe your tax account has way more than you actually needed.
Right. Check if the reality matches the plan.
Exactly. And based on that real data, you can make small tweaks. The article advises keeping changes small initially, maybe just shifting 1% or 2% between categories. Then you test those new percentages for another quarter. See how it feels.
Okay, gradual adjustments.
Yes. And then an annual reset is also suggested. That's for looking at the bigger picture, setting financial goals for the coming year. Maybe you want to push for a higher profit percentage or build a bigger emergency fund. You can make more significant adjustments then, especially if your business has grown or changed substantially.
So it's not quite set it and forget it forever, but more like set it, let it run smoothly, and then check in regularly with the actual data.
That sums it up perfectly. And step 5 ties right into that. Tracking everything properly. Once this automation is running, having your funds already sorted into these clear buckets gives you amazing real-time visibility into your finances. The article really emphasizes how seeing that balance grow in, say, your tax account just removes so much stress and uncertainty around tax time.
Oh, I bet. And I imagine it makes things way easier for your bookkeeper or accountant, too.
Absolutely. Huge difference. With funds pre-sorted by purpose, classifying transactions becomes much faster and more accurate for them. You can easily spot spending trends within each category, plan better for upcoming large expenses, and hopefully wave goodbye to those horrible tax season surprises.
Okay, so the system's humming along, money's being automatically allocated, and ideally, that profit account starts to build up. What does the article say you should actually do with that accumulated profit? Just let it sit there.
No, that's the fun part. The article suggests being really intentional with that profit. Don't just let it linger or accidentally get absorbed back into operations. It highlights a few strategic uses.
Like what?
Well, taking a planned quarterly bonus for yourself as the owner, a reward for running a profitable business, or using it to aggressively pay down debt. Or maybe reinvesting it strategically back into the business, perhaps finally getting that piece of equipment you need, or hiring a key person. Or even just deliberately building up a larger cash reserve, giving you a safety net or funds to jump on future opportunities.
So the profit isn't just some abstract number on a report. It becomes actual fuel. Fuel for your own reward, or for reducing debt, or for smart growth.
Precisely. It enables you to make clear, intentional decisions with that money, decisions driven by your actual business goals, all because the system made sure that profit was protected and available in the first place.
So when you really boil it down, automating these profit-first allocations, it's about more than just shuffling numbers between digital accounts, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's fundamentally about building a more robust financial system for your business, a system that, as the article really hammers home, builds in protection and predictability right from the start.
Yeah, you can see how it helps stop that cycle of overspending.
Yeah.
Because you're forced to manage based on what's truly available after profit, and your own pay are secured.
Right.
It makes sure you, the owner, actually get paid consistently.
Right.
It definitely takes the fear factor out of tax time if the money's already sitting there waiting. And ultimately, all of that allows you to make decisions, to pursue growth, with a much clearer head and, well, more confidence in your financial standing.
It's presented as a surprisingly simple approach, but one that's incredibly smart and sustainable for the long-term financial health of a business.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, drawing right from that idea in the source material. If setting up this kind of automated system genuinely frees up all that mental bandwidth and time you used to spend juggling cash flow or manually making transfers, what's the next big thing? What major opportunity or improvement could you finally focus your energy on to really scale or enhance your business? Something to consider. Solutions, Walter is actually offering to help you, the listener, get a handle on this financial piece. specifically with RelayFi.
Oh, extending that help offer again.
Yeah, he's offering a free 45-minute Zoom call. He'll literally show you exactly how he's set up and uses RelayFi.
That's generous. He mentions it took him, 45 hours to figure out his whole system?
Right. He says he can save you all that trial and error, walk you through it in just 45 minutes.
And you get the recording afterwards, too.
Yep, he sends you the recording of the call. Super useful to refer back to.
Okay, so how do people take him up on that?
Same contact info as before. Text him at 601-813-4661 or shoot him an email at walterwofford@gmail.com. Critically, make sure the subject line is just help.
Got it. Text or email, subject help.
Walter's story really hammers home how valuable it is to learn from those failures, but also how finding tools to automate things, especially finances, can just massively cut down on stress.
Yeah, freeing up mental energy.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What are the biggest friction points or time sucks in your own business or even personal finances? And how could maybe identifying and automating those free you up to focus on growth? Or maybe even help you skip some of those painful early mistakes Walter went through?
That's a great question to ponder. Where can automation remove the stress and let you focus on what really matters?